This is the screen flow. Now here, what is guideline it is giving that guides the user through a business process that launched from the lightning pages, experience, cloud site, quick action and more. That means here it is coming as a user. If you see the observe the word user, guides the user. Here the option which is coming for you is guides the user through the business process. Now, wherever you need a guidance, or if you want user to guide a certain steps, then you need to go for a screen flow. You need to go for a screen flow where it is going to guide the users how to create a record while you are in a different object, how to view the different object details while I am in the account, while I am in the opportunity. While I'm in the opportunity, I wanted to see all the contact details on the opportunity. That is it is going to guide the user. So whenever you need in the requirement that requires the guidance of the users, or you need a user to be viewing the information, right? In that scenario, you will go for a screen flow. You will go for screen flow. Now, in this case, whatever we are discussing it, in this case, now it says that create a default account. Create a default account. Now, I need to suggest the user by using this lightning flow. I want user to create a dummy account. I want to user to create a dummy account. That is the actual requirement from the client. Right? That is the actual requirement. There are two ways we can do it. Now we are discussing about the screen flow. Now client says that let user create a default flow. To create a default account by the user. By the user. That means instead of a lightning flows to create a default account, I want user to create a default account. Let them specify the name. Let them specify the name. Now here, whenever it says that create by the user, create a default account by the user. Now I wanted to give an option to the user here to create a default account. Let them create an account. For that, I need to go for a screen flow. I need to go for a screen flow. I need to go for a screen flow. Right? So this is the screen flow. Now you need to analyze this. Now let me take another example. Now configure a flow to get a list of related contacts on the account. That means I wanted to display the list of related contacts on the account. That means while I am in the account object, I wanted to display the related contacts. That means this is the screen flow. This is the screen flow. Now let me go to the another scenarios. Now implement a lightning flow. Now this is not the one. Implement a lightning flow. This is a schedule. This is a schedule. Fine. This is a schedule. No. There is another requirement which says that implement a lightning flow to display. Implement a lightning flow to display all the position records that are handled by hiring manager in hiring manager objects. Now, what should be the flow? What should be this type of flow? What is the type of flow, this one?
Screen flow.
Right? But others, what type of flow? How you are saying it is a screen flow? Display?
Display.
Display. Now let's say that I have another requirement. Implement a lightning flow to provide option to users to create student record while they are on home page. To create implement a lightning flow to create student record while they are on home page. What is this? Which type of flow it is?
Screen flow.
How you are saying the screen flow here?
Here we are giving option the user to enter the details.
We have a option to, we are giving a option here. Why it is a record triggered flow? I have not yet discussed the record triggered flow yet. Now we are saying here, create a student record while they are on home page. Now, to create a student record, will automation can do automatically without the user input? Now, in order to create a student record, I need a student information. Somebody has to enter the student information, right? Because I am on the home page. Home page means we have a lightning home page. Now, if you go here, now I am on the home page, Salesforce home page. Now, while I am in here, I wanted to create a student record. If I want to create a student record, I need to know the student information. That means user input is required. User input is required. It is a screen flow. Wherever you need a user input or wherever you see that it is a displaying the data, then you have to go for a screen flow. Screen flow is everybody clear? Is everybody offline, online, screen flow? When to use the screen flow? Okay. What is the other? Next one is auto launch flow. Next one is auto launch flow. Now, auto launch flow. What are the different type of auto launch flows we have? Auto launch flow is divided into 5 types.
Record triggered flow, auto launch flow, schedule triggered flow, platform event triggered flow, record triggered or
Record triggered flow, auto launch flow, scheduled triggered flow, platform event triggered flow. And then the last one is a record trigger orchestration. Record trigger orchestration. Out of this, I'm going to cover today only these two. These three I'll cover later. Now, first one is a record triggered flow. What is mean by record triggered? What is mean by record triggered? What is mean by this? Generic meaning. Record triggered means what?
Whenever the record is updated or deleted or created, any action while
Right. What is the meaning of trigger?
when it happened.
Do you guys watch movies? There is a gun triggered. Gun trigger. As soon as he hit the trigger point of the gun, immediately the bullet goes out. Right? As soon as the person, whoever is triggering the gun, as soon as it hit the trigger, immediately the bullet will come out of from the gun. Trigger, immediate action. Immediate action. Trigger. That means if you see movies or any Hollywood movies or anything, if you watch, as soon as you hit the trigger of gun, the immediate action happens. The bullet comes out of it. Right? So same concept here, record trigger. Same concept of record trigger. As soon as you hit the trigger, as soon as you hit the trigger in the gun, immediately the action is going to perform. The bullet will come out of it. Similarly, on the record or whenever user perform any action, user perform any action, that means they are hitting the trigger button there. Action is nothing but hitting the trigger button. Now, whenever they hit any action, immediately I wanted to perform certain logic. I wanted to execute a logic. Whenever user perform an action, immediately I want to perform certain logic or execute a certain logic. Immediately execute certain logic. Right? What is the logic? We will see later. Record triggered is nothing but immediately I wanted to execute some process. Immediately I wanted to execute some process. As soon as the trigger is hit by the user, automatically the backend logic should be executed. In that case, I'll go for a record triggered flow. In that case, I'll go for a record triggered flow. Now, record triggered flow. Now, if I say that, for example, let's say the scenario is, let me take the scenario from here. This is the scenario. That is a cross-reference scenario. Let me take another one. Okay. Implement lightning flow to send email notification upon creating the hiring manager record. Okay. Now here is the confusion will come out of it. The confusion is here also it says create. Here also it says create. Now this needs to be getting confirmed by the client saying that when you say creating the hiring manager, now in that scenario, do you want the creation should be happen by Salesforce standard UI? If they says that yes, by Salesforce standard UI, create a hiring manager, and as soon as the hiring manager is created as per the Salesforce standard UI, send an email notification. Send an email notification. Now here the confusion where it comes is sending the notification is a seems like an immediate action. Sending a email notification is a immediate action. Immediate action, but confusion here is create the hiring manager record. Creating the hiring manager record. Now, when you say creating the hiring manager record, do we have to build our own custom UI? If you say no, like no, don't build the custom UI. No, go for a standard Salesforce UI. Go for standard Salesforce UI. Then that is the clarity that we got it. Even if I am giving the requirement also, you need to get it confirmed, right? So that is gone. Now here, out of two things, one is got a clarity that immediate action I need to perform. If client says that I want like some custom UI need to be implemented. Do not use the Salesforce standard UI. Now, in that case, what will happen? In that case, I need to go for a screen flow. If they say that no, implement your custom UI. Do not go for the standard. In that case, I need to go for this. If they say that go for it by Salesforce, whatever it is providing it, use the Salesforce standard UI, but only the thing is that I wanted to do the immediate action that needs to be performed, email notification. Now this is the record triggered flow. Record triggered flow. Record triggered flow. Now, whenever you have this kind of information, now this is the low level design you are discussing about it. High level requirement, you know, this is the low level requirement you are talking about. When you come to the low level requirement, you are dividing the first step is type of flow. Type of flow. Now, which type of flow should I need to go for it? Divide the, whatever the sentence is here, divide that. Now, once you divide it, first decide based on the sentence, where it goes. Now, this is the immediate action. If it is the immediate action, it will go to the record triggered flow. If it is a creating a hiring manager record, then it goes to the screen UI. Now, there is a confusion. Now, which one do we have to use it? Now, this required the client input. It's required the client input. If client says that implement a custom UI as well as a send email, now then I'll go for a screen flow. Then I'll go for a screen flow. If they say that go for a standard Salesforce UI, then send email notification. Don't do anything, just simply send an email notification. Then it is a record triggered flow. Record triggered flow. Right? Now,
Ma'am, what is meant by like a standard Salesforce UI?
standard Salesforce UI is nothing but when you go here, standard Salesforce, hiring manager, click on a new button. This is Salesforce standard UI. standard page layout, whatever the default Salesforce is providing you, which is called standard Salesforce UI.
Okay. Like custom in the sense, like so that we need to use a screen flow.
Yes. Now let's say that you have another requirement. Implement a lightning flow to get count of contacts, on the account. Now, which type of flow you will go for it? Screen flow or a record triggered flow? Implement a lightning flow to get a count of contact on the account.
Screen flow.
The record trigger flow.
Okay, others? Which one we will go for it? Record triggered flow or screen flow?
Display the count of the contacts.
No, just get the count of contact on the account and update the field. Let's assume that update the field on account. As soon as the contact is created, then get the count of the contact and update the field on account. Now, whoever is saying the screen flow, why it is a screen flow?
Here, the count has to display some.
Right? Count has to, is that like a on the UI, like a, is that custom UI that we need to display the count?
No. Sorry.
It's not a user interaction is not required, especially count is displaying it, but do I need a user interaction there? Now here, account, okay? Now contact is created, automatically created, or somebody is created the contact. As soon as the contact is created, immediately I want the count to be reflected on the account. I want the count to be reflected on the account. Now here, after creating the record, I'm using the standard layout, Salesforce standard layout. Using the Salesforce standard layout, I'm clicking on a save button. As soon as the save is happening, there is a backend immediate action needs to be happen to update the account on the account record. I need to update the count of the contact. Right? Is that clear? Screen flow? Whoever is saying the screen flow? Now, if they says that, okay. Now, if they says that create a contact. Now, if they says that now while I'm in the account object, give me the option here button or give me somewhere here some UI where I can create a contact. As soon as I click on a next button, show me the count of contact. Show me the count of contact in the same UI, which is a customization, right? So that means I need a button. In that button, here I'll be entering the details. Whatever the details are there, contact details, I'll be entering it and click on a next button. Once I click on a next button, immediately on the next screen, I'll be displaying the count of contact, I'll be displaying it. And then I'll say here, save or cancel. Save or cancel. Now, once it is a save and cancel, based on that, the record is updated. If I have this kind of a UI needs to be implemented, then I'll go for a screen flow. But here what I'm saying is, I'm saying it to get the count of contact on the account and update the field on the account. I'm nowhere saying that create a custom contact here. Using the custom UI, create a contact. I'm not saying anywhere. Okay. Now this, how can you dig into this a little more down? In real time, you don't worry about it. Whoever is the architect or a team lead is there in your project, they will guide you that now if you're going for a lightning flow, now probably you need to go for a record trigger flow or a screen flow, right? So you need to choose because there is a UI that needs to be expected, the user interaction there. So we need a screen, right? The user interaction is not required on the custom UI. It's just based on the standard UI. See, whatever the standard UI is happening, let it happen. Let it happen. But only what we need is additional step which I needed is show me the count. Now here, count of contact on the account and update the field on the account. Now here contacts. Now they are not mentioning here create a contact, custom contact. They are not mentioning it, right? They are just saying that get the count of contact, get the count of contact. That's it. They are not specifying anything here. Create a custom contact and then get the contact. No, it is not mentioned. It is simply mentioned that half of the piece is a standard layout. Half of the piece is Salesforce standard functionality and half is immediate action which I need to perform right? So here, another one, implement a lightning flow to find the number of contacts for each banking account while debugging show the count for each bank account. Now this is while debugging, let's divide this. This is the debugging part. So if I take this requirement, what I'm saying here, and then while debugging. So this part is a different part altogether. This is the debugging part. Now actual high level requirement is implement a lightning flow. This is the high level requirement, which is high level requirement. It is always a best practice whenever you get a requirement, always do the high level requirement and low level requirement. Simply we cannot go with as soon as you see the requirement, do not go and start implementing a code. Always do the high level requirement and the low level requirement. Now this is high level requirement. And coming to the low level requirement. Now, there are two questions are there in this. One is this question, another one is this question. Now, in the first question, first requirement. Now, here it says that first one, it says that implement a lightning flow. To find a number of contacts. For each bank account, for each banking account. Now, each banking account, that means here it says that in the account, I have a industry field is there. Industry equal to banking. That means that is a banking account. Now what they are saying is, they are saying find the number of contacts. Now what are the related contacts are there for each account? Get the count of contact. Right? Now this is the second one. Now the implementer flow. Now this, okay, for each bank account, this is a condition. and to find the number of contact. That means this is the, as soon as the contact is created, immediately I need to update the count on the account. As soon as the contact is created in the as soon as the contact is created with the, by mentioning the account ID, immediately I want the number should be updated on the banking. That means it should go for a record triggered flow. Record triggered flow. Record triggered flow. Now, implement a flow to get all opportunities where the amount is greater than $1,90,000, then update the stage equal to closed on. Now, this is the high level requirement. This is the high level requirement. Now, in this high level requirement, now this is the, let's move on to the low level requirement. Implement a flow, lightning flow. Implement a lightning flow. What they are saying, to get all the opportunities, to get all the opportunities where the amount is greater than 1,90,000. That means I need to have a condition. Condition is, in the opportunity I have a field called amount greater than what is $1,90,000. Then they are saying to update it. Then they are saying to update it. Now, update is a DML operation. This we will come later. Now, this is a condition that I need to apply the condition here. I need to put the condition here and get all opportunity. That means I need to use the get record. That means I need to get all the opportunities where the condition is below mentioned. All opportunities where the condition is below mentioned. Now, what type of a flow? Based on this, whatever you see here, bottom three things, based on these things, what is the type of flow? Based on whatever the conditions we have a bottom, to get all opportunities where amount is greater than the 1,90,000, what should be the type of
Record trigger flow.
Record trigger flow.
Okay, anybody says any other flow? Right, so it is record triggered flow. Record triggered flow. Now, till this point, is everybody clear? I'll go tomorrow in depth about the elements. There are so many elements are there in the lightning flow. I'll talk about the elements later, but till this point, is everybody clear? When to use a screen flow, when to use a record triggered flow. These two are clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, the next one which we have seen is schedule trigger. Which we have seen is schedule trigger. Now, schedule trigger, as it says, now here it is a triggered is there as well as schedule. Two words are there. Triggered as well as schedule. Two words are there. Triggered means I know it is a immediate, but in front of the immediate, it says scheduled. What is mean by scheduled?
Some
Schedule.
particular time of the
Right. Schedule is nothing but any time have you kept the alarm in your mobile? Alarm or a calendar, something you want a alert kind of a thing. Why you are keeping it? Because you want some kind of a alert needed in order to happen the immediate action. You need to schedule the alert so that I can immediately wake up at that point. Immediate action trigger has to be happen, but trigger has to be happen on the time that I have scheduled. Now I'm putting an alarm in my mobile so that as soon as the alarm is triggered in my mobile, I should wake up immediately. I should wake up immediately. But when should I need to wake up immediately? When the time comes. When the time comes, when the alarm rings it in my mobile. Right? Similarly, calendar. In the calendar, if it is a first show, first movie, right? So usually people will put some kind of a calendar invitation that today is a first show, first movie, or something invitation that comes in the mobile, right? Immediately they will schedule it. What is that? They have scheduled 1 month back about the first day, first movie. Why they have scheduled that? They have scheduled to happen that immediate action. Now I need an immediate action should be happen. I should watch first day, first movie, first show. I need to watch it, but on that time, on that scheduled time. Right? On the scheduled time, I want the immediate action to be happen. Whenever the times comes on, whenever the time is reached, immediately I need to perform it. So scheduled, triggered, both are combined here. Both are combined. Immediate action has to be happened based on the time and the trigger. Time and trigger. The time comes, trigger it. Right? So scheduled trigger is nothing but you are scheduling something in your system. In Salesforce, you are scheduling it. Your scheduling is nothing but you are blocking the resource. You are blocking the time for the resource. Blocking the resource for that time. For that time, you are blocking the resource. Similar, like you are blocking your time to watch a movie. You're blocking your time to go for some event. You're blocking yourself for that particular time. Right? Similarly, in Salesforce also, we need to block a resource for that time to execute certain actions. To execute certain actions. To execute the certain action, those has to be immediate actions. Immediate actions. I need to be there. I need to perform. Because I'm blocked my time to perform that action. That means I need to perform that immediately. Right? I'm scheduling here also in Salesforce also. In Salesforce also, we are scheduling, for example, 4 a.m. 4 a.m. update all the lead records, update there is a field called lead source. There is a field called lead source. Update the lead source for all the lead records that are created today. Every day this job has to be executed. Every day this job has to be executed. So I'm scheduling the time to perform some action there so that what will happen in the Salesforce is the job, whenever we schedule it, it sits into the queue. It sits into the queue. It is waiting for the time to reach. It is whenever I schedule it, it is sitting in the queue. As soon as the time as soon as the time is 4 a.m., as soon as the time reaches the 4 a.m., immediately my job starts executing. Job starts executing it. Job starts executing it, which is a schedule. So wherever you see the word called as a schedule, wherever you see word called as a schedule, that means you need to execute, you need to implement a scheduled triggered flow. Right? Now here in this case, I have not mentioned scheduled. I have not mentioned scheduled. Update the lead record created on daily basis where the lead source is a web and update the website. Now I have not mentioned here. Right? So if I say here schedule, or if somebody says that schedule some job, client says that schedule a job, schedule this job to update every day night. Update every day night. Then go for a lightning flow. Go for lightning flow and update it. Client itself says that schedule the job, or client, if client does not says that, your architect or a whoever is there. Now, if you know the requirement, the requirement is I need to update it, like there is a lot of records are coming, some 2 lakhs of records are coming. It is very difficult to perform a immediate action. It is difficult to perform a record triggered flow. It is immediate, you're performing the immediate action on this. In this case, what I can do is better I'll schedule it. I'll request the architect that I'll schedule this job so that every day night it will execute it, and by next day the data will be updated properly. If he able to convince it, we can go for a scheduled triggered flow. Right? So we need to see the bandwidth, the performance also. So if we are receiving a lot of customer details, so much of data, every second the trigger is running. Instead of running the every second the trigger, let's schedule the job. Let's schedule the job midnight to execute it. Perfect. Any questions? There is only difference between the record triggered flow and scheduled triggered flow is scheduled trigger is executed on timely basis. That is only the difference. Any questions? In single page, 2 different flows. What do you mean by 2 different flows in single page? In single lightning flow? In single lightning flow? Yes, you can implement it. You have an option to, you cannot directly implement it. You have an option that subflow is there, where you can connect it. You cannot implement it to different flows. Here one flow and here one flow, here one flow. You cannot implement it. You can connect it. The flows has to be individual, but you can connect each other. Okay. Now tomorrow I'll explain in detail about everything here. Now till this point, everybody is clear. At the high level, when to use a screen flow, record triggered flow, scheduled flow. Okay. Okay then. So we'll meet tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. The high level is clear, but when we are writing the conditions, will you please explain tomorrow in detail, means from the basics, means why we have to insert the fee?
Sure. Tomorrow I'll cover it.
Yeah, sure.
Any other questions? Okay then. Thank you. Thank you everyone. Bye.